What's up? We back with another episode of 401 Uncut. Today, I got a very special guest in the building with me, okay? My boy that came all the way up here from the A, Litty in the building. What's up, man?
What it do, man? What it do, Cincinnati? What up, man?
Glad to have you in the building.
Thank you, man. 401 Uncut. What's going on?
How you been?
I can't complain, you know what I mean? Cincinnati showed me love. Hey, day is great.
You got a lot of good stuff going on, man. This new single, Spin, is out. It's trending. You even came here to Cincinnati and performed it in front of a big old crowd. We're going to get into all that first. But, Litty, first things first, I want the people to know exactly where you're from.
Okay, so I was born in Brooklyn, New York. However, I was raised in Atlanta, Georgia. Elementary, middle school, and high school. So I'm the one when I go to New York, I'm the Atlanta cousin. So, yeah.
Okay. So, how long was you in Brooklyn?
Until I was like 3-4 years old. And then I moved to Atlanta.
So you moved pretty early.
Yeah. I actually moved, I was actually living out of the country for a little while with my dad.
Oh,
and
wow.
then after I came back, I moved to Atlanta.
What country were you living in?
We were staying in England and Jamaica for like a 4, almost 5-year grace period.
Oh, damn, that's crazy. So how old were you during that time?
So, okay, so I left New York at like around like 3 or 4, and then I was with my dad until like 6 or almost 7.
Okay.
I was with him, and we was back and forth between England and London because my dad actually was a road manager for Luciano, which was a Jamaican artist.
Wow.
Yeah, he was up there with like Bob Marley and stuff. So anybody Jamaican know who Luciano's is.
So you've been around the music industry since you was a baby.
Yeah, pretty much it. Yeah, you could say that.
Wow, that's lit. So you ended up, what made you end up transferring to Atlanta?
My mom lived there, so she moved from New York, and she came out here. So when it was time for me to, of course, stop staying with my dad, move back with my mom, that's just where we transitioned to. Mm-hmm. And it was just been up from there.
Yeah. So what part of Atlanta did you grow up in?
Eastside, Decatur to be exact, Wesley Chapel. I went to Rainbow Elementary School, 1st through 5th grade. And then the second semester of 5th grade, I moved over to like Stone Mountain area, Panola Road, and went to Stoneview Elementary. And then middle school and high school, I went to Miller Grove High. And I mean, shout out to the girls. Hey, for sure, Eastside. They know what's going on.
You gotta shout out your people now. For people that's not from the east side of Atlanta, what was it like for you growing up back, during those times?
Oh man, be honest, it was fun days and it was good. You know what I mean? The East Side is East Side. Anybody from East Side know. I ain't gonna really go too much into, the personal debts on what the East Side got going on, but more like it's the average black community, you know what I mean? We come from the struggle and you try to make something, you know what I mean? And that was that. It's a lot of successful people came from the East Side, though. I'm not going to say act like we haven't had opportunities, but the same struggle as everybody else. You just got to apply yourself. That's all. Mm-hmm. You know what you came from, you know what you're fighting against, so keep going.
Hell yeah. Now, was it just you and your mom when you moved back, or do you got siblings, or?
Yeah, I got one brother on my mom's side.
Right. You older or younger?
No, I'm the younger one.
Okay, you're the younger. So you had a big brother when you moved back with your mom.
Yeah, on Mom Duke's side, 2 of us. Yeah.
Okay. How far apart are y'all?
3.5 years.
So y'all kind of close.
Yeah, in age, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you was shouting out the schools and everything like that you went to. Was you into sports? What kind of kid was you? Did you play football, basketball? What you was into? Was you outside being bad?
I ain't gonna lie. Gonna keep it 100. Litty was being Litty. I ain't gonna say a lie. You know what I mean? I was into the sports, more on the recreational side, but Litty was being Litty. I ain't gonna sit here and try to cap like I was outside. You know what I mean? Like I was living my best life, ripping and running. In and out the streets, getting in trouble here and there. But it wasn't nothing too crazy, just exploring. You know what I mean? And had my fair share of troubles, and got the act together, and now we're here.
Yeah, for sure. So you said you did being on the east side. It ain't hard to get into some trouble because it's kind of.
Oh no, for sure. It ain't hard to get no trouble on the east side. It's the east side. Trust me. This ain't nothing I got to talk about. Anybody that's from the east end, no.
Heck yeah. Now, in high school, what was you into? Did you start messing around with music then? Like you said, you grew up around music.
With music, so my dad was into the music. When I stayed in England with him, I did take in soccer a little bit. When I came over here, I wasn't really into the sports as more say. Okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. And when I when I was incarcerated and I do time, music ended up being therapeutic for me. So it's like for me to just get out of there, like make it seem like I wasn't even there, I would just make songs. And it wasn't always prison songs. Some was, of course it was prison songs, you're there. So you're going to speak on your environment. Outside of that, though, I was making songs about what times was good, you know what I mean? And Yeah, and when I came home in 2021, I actually featured on one of my best friend's songs.
Wow.
And I just featured on it. And you know what I mean? I give him his flowers. Like, he was the one that made me like, yo, you got it, bro. Made my BMI for me, turned me up. And I wasn't taking it serious. And then in 23, that's when it was my calling.
You know
what I mean? I took it serious, and we recorded Poppin', Drop No Contemplate, then dropped the EP Lit Before the Fame. And it had Spin on it, and Spin caught everybody's attention. And then we pushing Spin, and we got another song that we about to release. So it's been up from there.
Now let's draw back, because you kind of skipped over it real quick. You was like, I didn't really get my inspiration on really rapping till I got locked up. What was going on in that time to where, you know, what led you to even get locked up in the first place? What was going on?
Oh yeah, ripping around the streets, probation violations, pistol charges, all kind of stuff like that. But mainly just pistol charges.
And how long did you end up having to serve?
In a total, it was like almost 5 years, but it was separated. It was like 8 years time span. So it was just possession of firearm. That was really it.
You kind of was in and out, or they gave you it all at once?
No, so 19 months, out for 8 months, and then 29 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time, but you made sure you preoccupied your time with writing and getting.
Yeah, for sure. I was definitely getting my mental space together, catching up on my books. That's when I started getting into the writing the music, and that's when I felt like it's like at that point it was like, all right, I knew I had the music, but I also know what come with music. So when I came home,
what do you mean what come with music?
What come with music is you have to devote your time, energy into this. Like, you can't be half-stepping if you're gonna do it. So when I came home, I had so much trial and tribulation between courts and my son and family that I had to overcome before I could even fulfill my calling. So it was always a thought, for sure. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, me as an individual, if I'm gonna do something, I'm putting my all into it, or I'm not gonna do it.
I mean, that's 100, because you gotta have both feet in. I'll never forget, I did an interview with Money Man, and he told me that he was doing music, and he wasn't really getting nothing out of it at first, because he had 1 foot in the streets and, you know, 1 foot in the studio. But until he put both feet in the studio and put it into his career, that's when he seen the most of it. So I definitely agree with you on that point. How was that as a dad, navigating going away, doing time, and still you got a son and raising him at the same time? How was that?
It was hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was devastating. Like, it was definitely, that was the hardest thing about my time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a man, and you know, life comes with circumstances, but my son having to deal with it was the worst. Like, that's what actually made me get my act together. He was the one that changed me. Like, if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't know Litty, just being honest. So that's the main thing that I was focused on. I was like, you know what? I got a son now. He's getting older. I got to get my act together. Because, see, and this is for everybody, like outside of rap, when you have kids, it gets to a point when they get to start having that full conversation with you, that's when you got to get your act together. Mm-hmm. Because when your son can get to that point, like, so Dad, what do you do? Or how do we make money? Or what is this and what is that? You need to be able to have your act fully together. Mm-hmm. So that's just for everybody out there. That's the time when it's time to clean. When you know you got kids out there that's depending on you, and they get to the point when it's time to have them conversations, that should be your calling, if ain't nothing else. If not, for me, it was when I found out my baby mother was pregnant. That's
the wake-up call.
That was the wake-up call alone. You know what I mean? And seeing him in the flesh, it was just like, go time.
Man, say it was on.
Yeah, so all my decisions are made around him.
Absolutely, as they should be, for sure.